Welcome to Pages, the Librarian's Notebook, where I share great nonfiction recommendations in under 15 minutes. I read over 35 nonfiction books each year and have served on a state nonfiction committee dedicated to finding the most engaging, thought-provoking titles out there, books that anyone can enjoy. While the focus is on nonfiction, you might occasionally hear about a standout fiction title as well. So let's dive in. Today we're serving up a flavorful episode that blends food, culture, and quirky history in ways you might not expect. If you've ever wondered what hot dogs say about America, how ice became a luxury, or why food makes us feel so deeply, this episode is for you. Let's kick things off with Raw Dog, The Naked Truth About Hot Dogs by Jamie Loftus. It's a chaotic, hilarious, and surprisingly insightful road trip through America's hot dog culture. Loftus crisscrosses the country, eating multiple dogs a day from every region, digging into their history, the local lore, and even the drama behind them. It's part travelogue, part cultural critique, and 100% delightfully weird. Loftus doesn't just eat hot dogs. She uses them as a lens to explore American identity, class, and regional pride. Along the way, she interviews workers, historians, and fellow hot dog enthusiasts, making this book as much about people as it is about the food. I went into this book expecting a serious deep dive into the origins and mechanics of how hot dogs are made, the gross ingredients that they're made of, Upton Sinclair, the jungle type of book. But it was not that at all. What I got was something that was witty, humorous, and oddly inspiring. It made me want to try every hot dog she mentions in the book, and I did try a few. Though I have to say, Seattle, I love you, but cream cheese on a hot dog was a no-go for me. On the other hand, the Chicago-style hot dog is where it's at. Loftus's vivid details when describing the satisfying snap of a well-cooked dog and the variety of toppings that you can have on your dog will leave your mouth watering and make you crave this iconic American staple. This book was nominated for an Audie Award for Humor in 2014, and it really is a perfect example of how humor and food can be a gateway to deeper cultural insight. Our next book is Art of the Chicken, a master chef's paintings, stories, and recipes of the humble bird by legendary chef Jacques Pepin. It's a warm, whimsical celebration of food, memory, and creativity. Through the lens of the humble chicken, Pepin takes us on a journey from his childhood in rural France to his rise as a world-renowned chef, cooking alongside culinary icons like Julia Child. This book is more than a memoir. It's a feast for the senses. Woven throughout the book are over 50 chicken recipes and Pepin's own charming chicken-themed paintings, showcasing his artistic talent both in the kitchen and on the canvas. For me, the paintings are what truly makes this book unique. My first thought was, how many ways can you paint a chicken? But Pepin has such a wide variety of chickens that he has painted in the novel that you find yourself mesmerized by his artistic abilities. You almost forget that he's a chef and not a famous artist. Then you discover the recipes that are interspersed between the stories and paintings. There are no strict measurements or instructions in the recipes. Pepin encourages intuitive cooking, making the book feel like a conversation with a wise mentor. His reflections on simplicity, tradition, and joy in cooking are a reminder that food is both an art and a way of life. This is a very comforting, nostalgic, and really beautifully crafted book. It's kind of like a home-cooked meal with a side of storytelling. Our next book is Fatty Fatty Boom Boom, a memoir of food, fat, and family by Rabia Chaudhry. It's a memoir that's funny and heartfelt, and it's deeply relatable. Chaudhry, who is known for her work on the Serial podcast, opens up about her lifelong love-hate relationship with food, weaving together stories of family, culture, and body image with honesty and humor. Chaudhry's writing is refreshingly candid, and she doesn't shy away from discussing the pressures of beauty standards, cultural expectations, and emotional eating. Her Pakistani-American background adds rich layers to the narrative, making this memoir both personal and universally resonant. Even though much of the book was set in Pakistan, these beauty standards and expectations about food, they're universal themes and relatable to so many. But this isn't just a book about eating. It's about identity, belonging, and the complicated emotions tied to every bite we take. I found it incredibly relatable, especially the way she balances joy and guilt around food. It made me reflect on my own experiences, and I really appreciated how she never shied away from the messy parts. It's very real and honest feelings and emotions with something that many people battle with. It's a book that makes you laugh, think, and maybe even crave a samosa or two. Next up is Romaine Wasn't Built in a Day, The Delightful History of Food Language by Judith Shawn, a linguist with a love for the quirky and unexpected. This book unpacks the origins of culinary terms that we use every day, like why we devil eggs or what makes a salad. This book is witty, informative, and full of surprises. I loved how it made me think differently about the words that we toss around in the kitchen without a second thought. It's a book that's perfect for foodies, word nerds, or anyone who enjoys learning something unexpected over lunch. Shawn blends entomology with cultural history, showing how language evolves alongside our eating habits. She also includes fascinating tidbits about food taboos, superstitions, and idioms from around the world. It's a book that makes you smarter and hungrier at the same time. It's one of those books that I always think would be so great for people who play trivia games because it's cram-packed full of great trivia questions. When I was reading this book, I found myself wanting to tell anyone who would listen all these random facts that I was learning about food. Like, did you know that beignets, which comes from the French word bump, are sometimes called festivals in Jamaica? In some places, they are called nun's farts or nun's puffs. Try ordering that the next time you're in New Orleans. This book proves that food isn't just something we eat, it's something we speak, and you will get a kick out of all these food-related terms and stories. Our fifth book is My First Popsicle, an anthology of food and feelings, edited by Zoja Mamet. This book explores the emotional power of food. Writers, actors, chefs share personal stories tied to meals, everything from heartbreak and healing to joy and nostalgia. Every essay is a reminder that food isn't just fuel, it's memory, emotion, and connection. I loved how this book captured the way food can mark moments in our lives. Some stories are tender, others are funny, and all of them made me reflect on the meals that have meant something in my own life. It's a perfect read for anyone who's ever found comfort in a bowl of soup or remembered someone through a recipe. If you really stop and think, how many memories do you have that happen around the dinner table or where food is involved in some way? Your first date, you probably went out to eat somewhere. Food doesn't have to be the star of the memory, but we can all think of those times where we remember exactly what we were eating or drinking and the emotions and memories surrounding those moments. That's what this book is. It's a collection of memories around food, and it inspired me to look back at the food memories that I have. Sitting on the counter helping my grandma make biscuits when I was just a few years old, or starting food traditions with my own family, like cooking the world when the Olympics are on, or spider pizza for Halloween, which my 18-year-old just asked if I would make when she comes home from college later this month. The contributors in this book range from well-known names like Busy Phillips and David Sedaris to chefs and food writers, each one bringing a unique voice and perspective. The essays are short and digestible, making this a great book to read in small bites, just like a popsicle. And finally, we chill things out with Ice, From Mixed Drinks to Skating Rinks, A Cool History of a Hot Commodity by Amy Brady. It's a fascinating look at how frozen water shaped culture, industry, and even climate. From the early days of ice harvesting to the rise of refrigeration, Brady explores how something so ordinary became a symbol of luxury, convenience, and power. This was probably one of my favorite nonfiction books that I've read in the last few years. It's packed full of interesting information about an everyday item that we probably take for granted. There are so many interesting things in this book. How ice made cocktails popular, how we figured out how to skate on them and have sports on them. It's also crazy for me to think that in the mid-1800s, there were people that had never seen ice. People who lived in the Caribbean in hot climates. They didn't know what ice was. And the first shipment of ice arrived in those areas in the mid-1800s, and they slowly melted in the heat, causing people to think they were being scammed in some way. It was hard to trust what they were seeing. Another thing I learned from this book is how the rise of convenience stores and ice being sold at gas stations went hand in hand with the growth of the automobile, and how ice played a huge part in the development of the air conditioner. Brady also touches on the environmental impact of our obsession with cold, from energy consumption to climate change. Her writing is crisp and engaging, making complex topics accessible without losing depth. It's a book that turns something mundane into something magnificent. I was surprised by how compelling this book was. It's not just about the science, it's about how ice truly transformed the way we live, eat, and think. It's cool in every sense of the word, and a perfect way to wrap up this episode's flavorful journey. Food isn't just what we eat, it's how we live, how we remember, and how we connect. These 6 books offer bite-sized insights into the stories behind our meals, our words, and our traditions. You can find all of these titles at your local library, and I promise they're as satisfying as your favorite comfort food. Thanks for listening to Paige's Pages. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a fellow nonfiction lover, and subscribe for more quick, thoughtful recommendations. Until next time, keep reading, keep exploring, and keep feeding your curiosity.